So it's our fault that you're late.
No, it was Hannah's fault. I
Just to clarify, in case anybody hasn't looked, you are now live, so don't say shit.
No. Hannah put a link in Hannah put a link in the group chat to Flowers, and I clicked on the wrong link to go on the podcast.
How long were you there for, Bruce, before you realised this wasn't a live podcast?
It went to a page that I didn't recognise.
We've all had that on the internet.
And then I had to have I had a quick look at the pink petals and stuff, and then I realised what had happened.
He was looking at
the ancient marriage.
I'm sure that's another
tractors, Mike. He started looking at tractors, Mike. You'll get that reference.
Yes.
See, that time of year, Sam, is it?
Very niche.
So yeah, look at this. We're not in the playoffs anymore. No Wembley trip, and Bruce has already defected. He's decided he's off to Cleethorpes Town. So this will be his last podcast today before he starts owl talk.
Owl chat.
Are you doing a Mo Salah then, Bruce? You're leaving at the end of the season. You're going to throw the entire podcast under the bus in the process before you go.
Just say how shit it is.
Yes.
It's an absolute shambles since Tom left.
Evening, Jack. Square Eyes, Ollie. Hi, guys.
Right, so Ollie's on a cruise in Norway and still watching us. That is dedication.
Thank you, Oliver.
Who are you cruising with? Because are they accepting of this?
You get a bit personal. It might be away on a work trip officially.
Do you know what? If we'd have won on Friday, he could have been cruising to League One.
He's got on holiday quick, hasn't he? After Friday.
Yeah, what he did was he booked a holiday tactically, didn't he, for a week from the day after the game, I reckon, to next Saturday, just before the playoff final to ease the tension. But he's getting a holiday out of it anyway.
Can you see? Go on.
That is one of the small benefits of going. So I'm going abroad, and I was landing back at Heathrow at 10 o'clock on Monday morning. So rather than me jet-lagged and running to Wembley next Monday, I am spared that particular indecency. Anyway, that wasn't
important
enough to...
It would have made a great one of them photos that you see, wouldn't it? With the top missing off his cruise ship as it's wedged under Tower Ridge.
So Youngie has made an executive decision.
Oh, thanks for listening, Mike. Yeah,
all right, carry on. Well, he's made an executive decision. He wants to go into it a little bit early, don't you, Youngie?
I think it was a collective decision, Mike.
But before we do, I think Sam, how was your weekend, Sam?
Open wide for some soccer!
And now the shipping forecast issued by the Met Office on behalf of the Maritime and Coast Guard Agency at 1130. Go! At 1130.
I don't think I've ever wanted to be in a stand more than my life around there. They're going crazy.
This antiquated main stand, I can feel it vibrating.
Jay, they got a penalty here. There'll be fish flying about that. There's no tomorrow.
What a magnificent piece of football. This is Vernon. Vernon scores. The supporters are invading the pitch. Because Grimsby Town have caused one of the biggest upsets in their history.
Love it.
Good evening, everybody. 59 games, 111 goals, plus 12 penalty shootout goals, several severe bouts of limbitis, and a spattering of hot takes from Sam Barrack. The 25-26 season is done in drama that seemingly follows this club around. Now we know how it feels to lose a playoff game in the latter moments of extra time, and quite frankly, it stings. But myself, Sam, Mike, Bruce and John are here to take your pain away as we chew the fish skin off the second leg of the semi-final against Salford, which was so close to ending with a glorious comeback, but instead finished 4-3 to Gary Neville's Money Pit 11. Mike has got his hand up already. You've already found issue with my intro, haven't you?
What is going on? There's a prepared introduction.
Did you not? I thought it was good.
How long have you been? You've written something down that is concise, covers all the bases, is informative, and is entertaining. This will not do.
I'm preparing for my transfer to from the Binders.
Have you got a big money offer?
He's not on our retain list. He's Youngie. He's going League One.
I'm off to League One.
Is this rehearsals? Is it?
This is rehearsals. Yeah, Sky are touting me. So I'm getting good. Most of us watched the game in the pub on Friday, didn't we? But I know John didn't. So I'm going from sober to pissed onwards. So we will start with John. How are you feeling 2 days on, and how did you feel on Friday night?
Oh man, yeah, what a couple of days, huh? What a week. I don't know. Well, let's just I was at home. I was with my boy, his mate, who's something of a good luck charm, has been a bit of a good luck charm for us in this last few seasons, and very nearly was. Minutes away, and it's hard to forget that we beat them in 90 minutes, isn't it? It's sort of easy to forget that. So where do we start? Let's start with the actual game itself, which, to be honest, started as it left off. I think the week before, we just didn't get going. Mixed with a kind of mix of Salford stopping us playing. I thought Salford were very good, actually. I'm not a great footballing team, very good at stopping us doing what we want to do. They didn't cut us open, but they charged everything down and just completely stopped us and suffocated us from playing our natural game. And we just didn't have an answer to it. And unfortunately, when we have been bad this season, that's usually been the criticism that we've thrown at Town, isn't it? We just didn't have an answer until the changes were made. I think we all finally, the kind of classic change of shape that we've all been calling for a while, paid off. We can obviously talk about the legitimacy of the goals, but they went in, and it was looking really good for a while. I think Sam made a really good point later on in one of the chats we were in, which is just like the scoreline of the two legs just didn't reflect the reality of what we saw. It was not a classic semi-final by any stretch of the imagination, was it? But we so nearly did it. What I've thought about since, like I said, we can talk about the game in a bit more detail. I just think ultimately it came down to our inability to defend 2 set plays and 2 long throw-ins. And we can talk about maybe the detail behind that and why, but it's really frustrating. I think the whole frustration this season, I think I've talked about this in the past, is just how close to being a great team we know we are. And that's the frustration, isn't it? I think it's not that we locked our way into the playoffs. I think we warranted it. We deserved it. And the frustration comes in the fact that I think we probably know we deserve it. And listening to Green's interview yesterday, which I think we can talk about in more detail, I think that's probably the frustration that's been felt in the team as well, is that this felt like a chance. This felt like an opportunity. He said it, didn't he? We've got the team, we had the players, the morale, the coach. We had everything on our side, and we just didn't have enough to get over the line. So the frustration and annoyance on Friday night in the last sort of 48 hours or so has slightly changed. And I've been thinking about this today. I listened to the Green interview, and I think as football fans, ultimately we all want success. That's the sort of North Star, isn't it? We're all going for success. We want to move higher up the leagues. We want to win games of football. But underneath that, there are some building blocks that we all want and need without maybe really realising it. And some of those things are, we want a kind of direction of travel, some progress. I think we've had that, because undoubtedly we've progressed compared to last season. We want owners who understand the ethos of the club and the culture of the club and the fans. They're not just coming in from outside and putting their own fingerprints on it. And I think we can, obviously undoubtedly point to that. We want a connection between the club and the fans. I think we've got that. And listening to Green's interview, we want the players to care, and we want people to put on the shirt that want to play for Grimsby Town and have some pride and some passion. And I think we've got that in abundance. And so I'm really disappointed. I'm really upset, because I think, like Green, I think this was an opportunity. But I'm really positive. I really am. I think, everything else is pointing in the right direction, and it will come good. And if it wasn't this season, it's going to be another. So, yeah, overall, that's my sort of summary. Disappointed, frustrated, but I think we can't take our eye off the ball. Just watching the credits there, I mean, that night against United in late August feels like a lifetime ago, but my God, I can remember it, every detail of it. And the fact that that was early this season will just live with us forever. So we can't look at this as anything but a fantastic season we've had. Covered a lot of ground there. There we go. That's sort of where I'm at, how I'm feeling. Feeling quite upset at the moment.
And
See you
that's the
next
end of the
season.
podcast.
Thank you.
And that's the end of the podcast, everybody. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. John pretty much sums it up. But I'm going to go to the cricket club at Cleethorpes, Bruce's second home. What was the feeling, Bruce, when we went 1-0 down on the night? Did you think it was over? And what were the scenes when it went back to 2-1?
I think when you're in the pub and you're watching it, you can sort of spot the people who are there for the social occasion and the ones like me, head in hands, sort of the ones that have been through it all season. It is different watching big games in the pub. I got in nice and early, got a good table, we had a good time. I think, like John says, the game was pretty shit, really. Like the first one, not a lot between the two teams, and really, you look at it, it wasn't really. I wouldn't say that, there wasn't a lot of, since Reece Staunton started the 180 minutes with the best bit of action and skill in the two legs. It was a bit of a war of attrition. We didn't play as our best. We didn't create chances, but yeah, the cricket club was at 1-0 down. As I say, some people sort of carried on chatting. Some people were resigned. But even at 1-0, though, I didn't see where our goal was coming from. It wasn't like we'd been battering them knocking on the door and creating chance after chance and missing, and then they went up the other end and scored. I mean, it was sloppy, wasn't it? Leaving the guy at the back post, unmarked. And then we didn't just. They gave us that bit of hope that, would it have been easier and less painful if they hadn't have done that and we just lost 1-0? I don't know. But they gave us 5 or 10 minutes of delirium. 2 goals in 4 minutes was brilliant. The roof nearly came off the place. And then, at the end of the day, it's a mistake, albeit, it happened very quick. McCracken went for the header and missed it. And then, the toe when it just falls into his path, doesn't it? And I watched it back yesterday for the first time. I said in the chat group, I can't do the painful stuff. I don't, I didn't go, my phone was buzzing away on the night. And I just don't look at it. I don't go on social media. I don't need to. I've seen it in front of me. I don't need to see what other people feel about how shit we all feel. It was only yesterday, I think, when I was doing next year's on this day, which will be a cheerful one, that I watched it back, and watching them on the pitch and the fucking cameras panning to Paul Scholes celebrating like some, it just makes you sick. And they're just a nothing club. They beat us. They beat us fair and square. Fair play to them on the pitch, but it just feels so artificial. Everything that there is to do with them, the flags and all the stuff like that. I mean, I chatted to friends that were in the home end. I barely knew anybody in the away end, but that's another story. And they said it was just, even when they went 1-0 up, half of them don't look like they've ever attended a football match in their lives. It's just a show, and it's doubly frustrating to lose to that. And it's just my last, the final thing I will say is, I think I put in the group yesterday, it's just when you lose in the playoffs, if it's the end of the season and you play the last game and you can see the last game coming, you're sort of like, oh, it's the last game of the season. In the playoffs, you don't know when the last game of the season is unless you get to the final. And it's that finality of, I walked out of the cricket club and that's it for this season. It's done. And the whole thing's, the whole script of the next week or 10 days changes completely. We're not looking forward. We're not booking hotels. We're not going to Wembley. We're waiting for the retained list, and people are chatting to players in the pubs on Saturday night and finding out what's going on. But yeah, it's shit, innit, really.
Mike, you were in London town with a selection of Southern-based Mariners. where do you think the game turned around then? Because as Bruce said, and I kind of agree, we didn't never look like scoring really, especially after up to their goal. So what do you think changed? What's tactically changed to get us back into the game?
I'll be honest. I think I said to you guys, might be controversial. I was pretty content at halftime. I'll be honest with you. I know we didn't really create anything, but I said the other week, if that's us 1-0 up, going into the second leg at home, and it's still 1-0 and it's getting deeper and deeper into the game, they would start to get more nervy. So I was quite happy getting in at halftime 0-0, and they've not really created anything, because I would always back us to do something in front of goal. So I wasn't unaware of the issues in terms of not creating enough, but I wasn't unhappy. I think what changed is that spark when they scored. I think that just absolutely gave them a kick up the arse, and they just, we changed it around a bit. We got more players further up the pitch, which you've got to do at 2-0 down. I think it was still a bit too early to go gun ho sort of 55 minutes, because you can only lose it, you can't win it. So I think that's what it was. And this team will create chances and score goals, and I think when they got that sort of drive behind them, they went and did it. The goal Salford scored was really disappointing, because it comes from a set piece, and there was a couple of us in the pub that noticed it. Was Rodgers had two men at the back post, and the two men he had, one of them flicked it on to the other one who scored, and that's just really frustrating, because it's not a break of play. You're not scrambling to defend. You can be really clear in your setup and make sure everybody's marked. But Rodgers has two men. He doesn't know what to do. He goes late with the first, who then flicks it onto the one he's just left behind, and it's 2-0. So that was really frustrating. But I'll be honest, when we was in the pub, it was about 25, 26 of us, which was really good. So we didn't feel maybe as nervy, because you sort of share it with the company, don't you? You have a chat with your mates, and you're all sort of there. So it was a really good atmosphere. And I know Bruce said, would you rather have lost or come back? I tell you what, that 20 minutes or so we had in that pub was extraordinary. 2 quick goals to pull it back is something I remember for a while. We had a good laugh. There was beer everywhere. The whole pub's full of Liverpool fans watching the Aston Villa game, and suddenly they turn the big screen off and put us on and put our commentary on, because everybody sort of piled in to watch. So what a good advert for lower leagues football that is, that people watching a Premier League game or wanted to come and see what was going on in the town game. So that was brilliant. Because look, as John said, there's plenty of reasons to be sad about stuff. And obviously we would like to go to League One, but when you break everything down and look at it, we're a club that's going places. And I've said for a while, and probably bored of hearing me, I'm saying it's not if, it's when. And we're on the right direction. And what this team has given us this year is so much emotion, so much feeling of elation and worry at times, and then fight backs and turning things around. And that's what football's about. It's an emotion. And we've got a team that is giving us that. And I think they will continue to do it. Club's on the right path off the pitch. Not many complaints with it on the pitch either. So instead of it being different seasons where that was the chance, I don't feel like that now. I think we're building something sustainably that will keep progressing, and it will be if, not when. So as gutting as it was on Friday, it's going to make next year all the better and all the more glorious when we win the league.
Oh, lovely. That's good positive talk there. So with that in mind, I'm going to hand over to the man with the hottest takes in podcast history. Causing Twitter storms. Sam, what were your thoughts when you saw the lineup, and what were your thoughts of the game?
I was happy Vernon was playing, but when I saw the lineup, then I thought they played him quite well. What John said resonated with me quite well. Was that basically they weren't great, but they'd obviously done their homework on us and did a very good job at stopping us. And sadly, we weren't good enough. As much as it pains me to say this, to kind of like combat that and sort of play another way. I mean, we've scored 2 goals, as Bruce said, that have sort of come from nothing really. Both of them legally dubious, I think it's fair to say, but their first second goal on Sunday's offside, so it's a bit like the Wrexham one instead has all balanced itself out. So I don't think we can complain, but we can really point to that in any regard. But I kind of like, I love all the positivity in terms of we're going on the right direction. I'm going to say take a slightly different angle and think,
Of course you are.
this was a really, really
Standard.
good opportunity, I think. So we've done the double over Salford. It was obviously we'd got a really good core to our team this season, especially in the second half of the season. With Jacko, Terry coming into his own, Greeny having the best form of his career, and of course getting Cookie back. And although there are, and it just feels like there's no guarantee that chance. I know the Mike's saying it's a case of when, not if. I sort of share the optimism, and it's not like the old days of the non-league where it's a case of, oh shit, we've now got to sign 16 new players in the summer and hope it all comes good again. It's not like that. But we do have to now. There is now a lot more doubt thrown into it. What's going to happen with McEachran? What's going to happen with Cabia? What's going to happen with any number? Is Cookie going to be? Cookie will be a year old at the start of next year. We'll not no chance of keeping Jacko. Have we missed an opportunity here? And frankly, on Friday night, I went to bed sort of feeling the same as Mike did about, the club we're going in the right direction. And I woke up more pissed off on Saturday morning, actually, than I went to bed on Friday night in that regard. So, but you can't take away from the fact, although I was sort of disappointed with how we played over the two legs, it's still been a great season. We got, was it 70? No, 8 points. I think it was 78 points. Most we've had in God knows how many years. Progressed up the leagues, had 2 really good cup runs, made the 4th round of both competitions. Had one of the best nights ever. Some brilliant nights at like Cambridge, and there was a great day at Notts County and so on. Thanks, all sorts of great memories from this year, such as Bruce introducing the whole of Nottingham to my aunt. Moments that I will never forget. But it really is. It does feel like we've sort of. Maybe it's just inherent town pessimism that I go into the summer now slightly full of trepidation. That
I agree, Sam. I'm with you, mate.
Could get unpicked.
That was optimistic, Sam.
No, I didn't say
You started that off with, I feel really optimistic, and then just listed.
I clarified it with basically said I went to bed optimistic, and I woke up the following day and the kind of like a view had changed in my head. I'm ultimately optimistic, but there's a bit of pessimism. It's like, although we'll be there's a lot of new same players, there will be some that are different. Anyway, I've kind of made my point.
Let me try and avert really briefly. Let me try and avert some of your negativity. What role has McEachran played in the second half of the season?
Fair point, but he's a brilliant player.
No, I'm not debating that at all, and I think it's a travesty that his contract's running out because I'd name your price sort of thing, sign the contract sort of thing. But he's not really played much for that.
That was something we talked about, didn't we, after the pod last week when we were talking with Hannah, because Hannah's a big McEachran fan, and she was kind of saying the same. And I said, yeah, and we said it then. It was like, well, hang on, actually, how many games has he started in this last? Not many at all, and then obviously got injured in March. Bruce, is it the part? Did you agree with the part about introducing anti-lunch to the whole of Nottingham, or was it just Sam's point in general?
No, I agree. At the moment, it feels like an opportunity missed. We flew into the playoffs in the best form of any team. We had the March before Swindon. Everyone went in the game in bounce with the atmosphere bouncing. We got the win. We went to Tranmere. All right, we drew on the day, but it was a pretty party atmosphere. And then I think we've come up short in the playoffs. I don't think you can sugarcoat that. We've not been at our best. They might have done a job on us. They might go on and win the playoffs, and then we'll say, and they might. Notts County sort of play quite an expansive way football. I think quite entertaining normally. So we'll see what happens in the final. But I bet we had less than 6 shots on target across 2 games. I stand corrected if that's wrong, but that's how it feels. They didn't have many more, but I'm not bothered about that. I'm not bothered about them.
I know in the first leg, Bruce, but I know people will scoff at this, but we had our lowest XG created in the whole of the season in the first leg, all season.
I don't think you needed the stats to tell you that, did you?
No.
No.
That's what my eyes were telling me.
Yeah,
I
I don't think we. I don't think.
mean,
Like I say,
Staunton scored from a sort of, let's call it a sort of quarter of a chance, and then we not got near them afterwards, have we? So
No.
that bears scrutiny. That
no, we came.
John's got it. John Alexander just saying.
Yeah,
John,
I don't disagree with any of what. I think we're all kind of roughly on the same page. I think the frustration we're feeling, the sense of hurt, it's very similar to that. The last playoff final that we lost. I know that we weren't in a final this time, but the last time we lost in the playoffs, it's so final and it's so done. I think the big difference between this and 11 years ago is that we have a real plan and we have a real sense of direction now. Whereas where we were 11 years ago required the fans to basically put their hands in their own pocket and fund the club to try and get up there. It wasn't, I think we can genuinely look at the core of the team that we've got now, and the fact that we can clearly look to a plan. Whereas if we lose some of the key players that we've mentioned, they're going to have an idea of targets that they want to try and get to that. To get to where we are and to progress again next season. There's no guarantee, and Sam is right, it was a poor league this year. Bromley, credit to them, they aren't, the most entertaining of teams, and they, were athletic enough and physical enough and bullied their way to a league title, and credit to them. Every other team we've stood up, toe-to-toe against. I think the difference this year is we can almost see exactly the missing pieces of the jigsaw that we need to complete the picture. And we can talk about what we need in a bit, but we're so close, and we know we're close because we literally got to the playoffs, and we've got the core of the team there. Any of them that go apart from McEachran, we're going to get some money for, and I've got full faith. And I think we've all probably heard that there is extensive amount of research already gone into identifying targets we need for next season. So I'm as frustrated as Bruce and Sam. I don't want to kind of seem like I took anything away from Friday night other than just complete, despair. It was awful. We didn't show up. We didn't show our best selves. We've done that too many times this season. But we are talking about small margins, aren't we? Because we know that a few more games going slightly differently and we would have been in the autos. So there's no guarantee of that. We can't just turn up and expect to get into the autos next year. We've got to still put a lot of the hard work in. But I feel that with this the team we've got and the process that we've got behind us, I think we can do that. So yeah, I don't know. It's maybe I think we're on the same sort of page. Perhaps we're just at slightly different positions of where we are in terms of the sort of grieving process.
I think you can be. This is the thing. You can be both, can't you? You can be both kind of gutted at the opportunity that was missed, and I agree. I agree with Bruce and Sam and yourself. I do think it was an opportunity missed, absolutely. Especially, and I think the home leg is probably the disappointment for me. Really, is that we never at Salford. I think we got to give Salford credit for that, especially for the first leg. They did a job on us. They got in the lead and then did a job on us, and we didn't cope very well with that. And you can be disappointed by that, but also you can, as Sam mentioned, it is not like previous where you think to yourself, oh my God, we're going to lose like 3/4 of the squad and we've got to rebuild again. Both things can be true, can't there? And I think there's certainly initial disappointment from Friday. And I was saying after 60, I was the same. I thought after 60 minutes, it was one of our worst performances of the season up to that point. I didn't think I really didn't think we did anything of anything, but credit to him. I think credit to the changes. I thought Amal Lazur was my man of the match for me, and he only came on from the 60th minute. I thought he was superb. He made a real difference. McEachran looked fresh, and he until the end, unfortunately, because he is partly to blame for that final goal. And Kabia did Kabia things, didn't he? And there was a few people on Twitter that were saying, "Oh, Kabia should have started." I'm of the opinion, actually, I think he got that one spot on, because I think putting him on the bench made him more hungry. And actually, once they were tiring, he was perfect for them to kind of get on the front foot. Anyway, Mike, you've unmuted.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't mind it. This wasn't the point I was going to make, but just the last thing you said. Don't want to repeat myself, but the first thing is, you don't win that game in the first half, you lose it. So I've got no problem with that, sticking in the game and then having a good go later on. So yeah, you don't need to go gung-ho from the start. If you conceded in the 5th minute, you wouldn't chuck everybody on, would you? if it was 0-0 at the start.
No, I'm not. I think I won't say.
Yeah, I'm agreeing with you.
No, but I didn't think we. I didn't think it. I just didn't think we were very good. That's.
Yeah, it's not that I'm not gutted. Don't get me wrong. I feel it as much as everybody else. I think the difference is once you get past that, you're a lot more engaged with the club and you can see a plan, so you have more faith and confidence about what's coming. In past years, especially in the National League, but also if you go back 20 years, that Russell Slade campaign, I think before we all got on the supporters coach, we knew he was going and a couple of the players were going. You could feel it all falling apart, and then there was no plan the next year. And then in the National League, it was a constant turnaround. We'd fail in the playoffs, and then we'd have 15, 20 players come in the next year. But this just feels different. So once you get over that initial heartbreak that we all have, it's a lot easier to motivate yourself going forward. We weren't very good, but I would just say we went into that game losing on aggregate, and we went and won that game. I know we went to extra time and it was 2-2, but we won 2-1 away at Salford. Doesn't do you anything, don't get me wrong, but we went away and won at Salford, so we weren't that bad. I think it was a nervy game in the first half. We tried to stay in it. We gave away a stupid set piece, and as soon as that gave us a kick up the arse, I thought we were the better team from 65 minutes, whatever it was, onwards.
I'll tell you what changed my mindset is the Green interview. I was down, I was miserable, and I was pretty pissed off. But when you've got a team, and I think Green probably embodies it, and as the leader, as the captain, spoke on behalf of the team. But I did genuinely feel that he was speaking on behalf of them. And this is a team that really does care. And we know that we've had teams in the past that just don't, that would have finished that game and they would have just been off and on their holidays and thinking about their next move and whatever. Like, to hear the way he spoke, his voice is breaking. He was really hurt. And that completely changed the way I thought about it. I suddenly felt so proud. And I hated hearing him talk about taking responsibility for the game because of that chance he had. Yes, it was a good chance, but he had run his socks off at that point. He'd set up 2 of the goals. He's played almost all games this season, and he's run his socks off in most of those games. And that chance, it was. You probably should have shot it a little bit earlier. You let it bounce maybe one more time than you should have done, or let it drop a bit further than you should have done. But these players they're hurting as much as we are. And they're looking back at those moments just like we do on this podcast out loud, and we talk about it. It's therapeutic for us. They're going over on it, in their heads as much as we are. And I don't want to single out any one individual player. I know there's some chat going on about individual mistakes and things. We're close, and it did come down to individual mistakes and little errors. Sam's right. Mike was right about the corner in Rodgers. I think point to the first goal in the first leg. You guys talked about that last week. Really poor defending, poor communication all round, and clearly, we all know what happened with the last goal. And it was bad, and it doesn't, excuse anyone from making mistakes. And it just so happens those mistakes led to goals. But that interview, when I listened to it, it really, I don't think I've been so proud of a Grimsby Town team for a very, very long time. And Greeny, I think Mike, you said in the chat, he really is now, he might not be up there with the likes of Groves and Cockrell and Cunnington and some of those, sort of box-to-box midfielders of the past in terms of what he's achieved necessarily on the pitch. But in terms of his sort of status as a leader and his clear passion for the club, he's getting close in my mind. He really is.
The players are going away now on holiday to take some time and take stock of what's gone on and try and get over it. If anyone from Holidays by Design's listening, Sam and I will quite gladly hold up a bag for a photo. If you want to send us somewhere, just give us a couple of weeks to take some time and just take stock of what's gone on and what we've been through. Message the pod, please. Thank you.
And if anybody doesn't want to go too far afield, then there's a lovely place you can go stay at the Fitties. But just on the Greeny thing, really, really quickly, I loved and hated listening to that at the same time, and I can't quite be eloquent enough to explain why. But
I know what you mean.
I hate to hear somebody feel like that, but I love that he cares so much and he's one of us. It's just the feeling I got. I thought he was beating himself up a little bit about missing that chance. I actually think he's probably doing the captain thing. He's trying to cover for other people that are getting wrongfully, shamefully getting criticised as well. And I loved that as well. He was prepared to put himself out there and say, look, that was on me. I should have scored. Well, any of these players, I'm thinking Green, I'm thinking McJanet, I'm thinking anybody, McEachran, we didn't lose because of you. We got to where we were because of you. We beat Man United because of you. We're the best team in the division for the second half of the season because of you. We love our club because of you. You know, Green, McJanet, Vernon, Cabia, Smith, all these players, we got to where we are because of you. So we got beat on Friday, but you got us there, right? And just from my point of view, I'm just thankful we have a group of players that I feel that I can connect with and I feel I enjoy watching represent my club. Because there's many times that Bruce and Youngie have supported Town a lot longer than me, because you're a lot older than me, and you've had all these cult heroes. You've had all these cult heroes that you've loved and adored. A lot of my time has been watching some absolute filth. And I'm enjoying connecting with a team that I love to watch. And these players, I love them. They will get us where we need to go. And if any of them leave this summer, it'll be for a shit ton of money.
Here, show us the cash.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Show me the money.
Show me the money. So I think we can. I think the last thing is I know you mentioned about players getting criticism. I actually think that the vast majority of people are.
Thank you, Stephen. Cheers, Stephen.
Understanding of McJanet made a mistake, but he was knackered. It was clearly a tired. Just threw his leg at the ball, didn't he? And it just happens. You know what I mean? It's not, you know. And I actually think our knackeredness might have affected us on penalties as well, because we did a lot of our players looked dead. Credit to Charles Vernon, barely played in the last few months, and he did 120 minutes on.
And you'd be asking him to take a penalty as well, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
That would have been a. But we'd actually just started because it looked like it was going nowhere and aimlessly meandering towards penalties. We just started in our front room who's taking
it's your
conversation.
Fault. It's your fault.
It's all your fault.
People in the pub were starting that, and we shut them all down. It was you that right. Sam's fault. We lost.
Just to caveat that, people that were at the game, a couple of people I spoke to said that you might not see it on camera, but off camera they were knackered as well. We weren't. They looked more tired than us, I'm told.
It's always about if you're knackered, it's about can you have the right player in the right space at the right time. So can you get one of your fresh ones against one of our knackered ones? That's usually the chess game it is, isn't it, in added time?
Yeah, but I think we've talked enough about Salford. We've done 30 odd minutes on it. It's done. It's over. We'll be in League 2 next season, but what a season it's been. Gentlemen, I think we can all agree Man United was the highlight of our season. I think we can all probably agree on that one. But putting Man United aside, what's been your favourite day? What's been your favourite home game, away game, whatever it may be? What has been the one that's really stuck in your memory this season? Sam's got his hand up first, so we will go with Sam.
Very straightforward. Favourite day was Notts County away because it was just a brilliant day from beginning to end. But the favourite game was at Cambridge a few weeks ago. Janet's again, I've gone very cliched there, I must say, and I've probably stolen a couple of other people's. But lucky enough to be at both of those games, and looking enough to be at both of those games, and I think those are the ones that always, when you're there, when you're in amongst it, when you're with your mates and with your family, jumping up and down at late winners or really late winners, those are the ones that will still be here in however long.
Was that Cambridge? Did he say so?
Yeah.
Mike, you're unmuted then. So what about you?
Oh, yeah, I think Colchester. I was there. There was a selection of it's Tuesday night, wasn't it? There was a selection of hardcore Town fans that had come down.
I was there, Mike.
Unfortunately, you stood next to me as well for most of it. Yeah, and I just think it was just the whole thing. We were a bit backs against the wall after Greeny got sent off out of time. Players were knackered, throwing themselves in front of it, and they got that 1-0 win. And I think that just typified the team quite a lot. And I walked away from that game feeling, other than Man United and maybe some of the things that I've forgotten, I felt really proud after watching that performance. I thought it was full of heart, spirit, and determination.
There we go. John, what about yourself?
Yeah, I wasn't at those games, but the Colchester one was a really special game. And let's just, we talk about criticism. Let's just remember McJanet put that ball in the back of the net away at Cambridge. If it wasn't for that, we're having a very different season potentially. But in just pure footballing terms, first half, in a game I was at, first half at MK Dons was just, I've never seen anything like it. And I bumped into Sam at half time. And we couldn't believe it. We both looked at each other in a classic sound way and went, but if any team can fuck it up from here, half joking, like, ha ha ha, we're down, we're a man up and 3 up, obviously.
And we did our best, didn't we?
But that first half was scintillating. I mean, it's a shit away game, it really is, in terms of, the stadium and everything else. But I still think we could believe what we were watching. So yeah, that was footballing purely. That was fantastic, and Vernon was sensational that game.
Bruce.
Get him out!
What a lad. You know what, and you're right, John. You're right. That without that goal, might not even made it to the playoffs. And what a technique it was to finish it in the first place. So, but he just fucking threw himself at it. Bruce, sorry.
If you're listening afterwards and you're not watching this live, that wasn't me a minute ago when John introduced me. It must be my age, but I've just had to look back. I've had to look back at the season's results and away games that I've done to sort of think about this. I don't remember. We our home form picked up, but I don't remember that many. Obviously, there was the 7-1, which was 9. The 9 men. I don't remember. Not always been that, but I think the away games are always the ones that you remember, aren't they? I mean, we've not mentioned the 5,000 or 6,000 of us going to Hillsborough. The atmosphere that night was really special. I know it was, circumstances where they were boycotting, but obviously to go there with that many fans and the atmosphere that was created, non-stop singing all the way through, that was good. I went to Notts County, like Sam, always nice to. We always seem to do quite well there in recent years. A late winner, Vernon, I think he came on as sub, didn't he? And scored, 5 minutes from the end to send our limited allocation into raptures. And then towards the end of the season, I went to Crawley and we did okay. Gillingham was a great day out in the end. We scored 3 late goals. That was, we by that point we were on the roll to the playoffs. And we demolished them in the last 20 minutes of that game. So yeah, there's been a few. But yeah, that Man United game, as you said at the outset, we hadn't played them since 1948, 7, 8, something like that. And just to the scenes when we went 1-0 up with Vernon's goal, and we were almost stunned, I think, when Warren scored the second. When Warren scored, the celebrations weren't quite so wild, and I think it reflected on the TV when you watch it back that they were quite, even though it was a scrappy goal, they were quite muted in commentary when the second one went in. But the Vernon goal, and Grimsby Town deserved that, and I can't help but smile every time the pod credits play. No matter how sad you feel, you listen back to that, and it just lifts you. And it's those moments that do lift you, and following football, and being, like Sam says, being in amongst friends and fellow town fans, especially on the road. Nothing beats it when you have a result and you score late on and you're all bouncing about. It's great.
We didn't celebrate the second because we were all fucking knackered after celebrating the first.
Absolutely, but the picture that you bought the other week, the Charles Vernon picture, that they seeing the Finders of all places just in absolute limbs, it was incredible, and it's still my favorite. The Ramsdens, sorry, sponsors, but there it is. Yeah, absolutely, it's just brilliant. What a sight!
What was your non-Man United moment?
Well, from a personal point of view, and it's more personal because of man crushes that I might have.
Hooters.
It was sharing a Turkish bath with Jack Spring, David Masdam, and Paul Robinson before the Harrogate game. For me, Swindon at home was my favourite league home game for years and years. It was just a brilliant day we said it on the pod a few weeks ago, just a perfect storm of a day. Sun was shining. Cleethorpes was busy early on. There was a real buzz in the air. The big walk to the ground. The atmosphere from minute one was behind him. An early goal, an early penalty as well after the penalty miss at Chesterfield. It was just superb. And as well, Mike, a good old Holloway head loss.
Biggest head loss of the week.
That's probably the worst performance any of my teams have ever given me. So it's very difficult to protect myself or anybody else. So, because that's what happens these days. Managers get the sack, as these lot were shouting. Couldn't wait to do it, could they? I'm totally and utterly embarrassed. Because Grimsby have had a day where they're going to love it, and they've made a day that they'll never forget. So that's against me. For whatever reason, they want to say that. And my team has embarrassed me in front of our fans who deserve so much more than that. So I don't know what else I can say, really. You've had some wonderful questions. I think that's me done.
Biggest head loss of the week.
Not only head loss of the week, but I think we can say, I know Alex isn't here to make that decision, but formally we can announce that the N35 head loss of the season goes to Ian Holloway. Well done, Ian. Well done, mate.
There's a very close second, though. But we can't really do it because he beat us.
No, we can't do that one at the moment. But we've got a first. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
We've got a
Basics.
Basics.
I loved how he said for whatever reason, as if it's like unclear why we don't like
Yeah,
it.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
I'm completely confused.
I don't know why they're mad at me.
Yeah. Why are they mad at me? Hey, Big Nut's gone, hasn't he, from Swindon?
That's proper chucking your deputy out to save your own skin type stuff, isn't it, Mike?
Yeah.
Yes, yeah. Fucking knew as soon as he said that. I was like, oh, you twat. Sorry. Sorry for my language.
Before we move on, because I think we should have mentioned this a little bit earlier, but the idea has been touted not only for people that didn't get tickets for Salford, but also as well maybe with cost of savings for people that haven't gone to Wembley, that instead of maybe using some of that money elsewhere to put it towards the disabled supporters stand fund that's going on at the moment. This week it went over £10,000. I think it's now gone to about £11,500. If anybody listening to this or viewing this now can even chuck in a £5 towards it or something that you have been saving for a trip to Wembley, every little bit matters that goes to the £30,000 target.
And if you've got a birthday of a loved one that's a town fan coming up, there's some really, I've probably not noticed, you can buy some really interesting things like signed pictures of players and the team, and you get a video message for a small contribution. So, if you've got town fan who's got a birthday coming up, think about getting them one of them.
Have you put the Doug Shack just, mate? Is it just all like, Reform HQ? It's just in his office is all pictures of Farage. Have you got basically in the Doug Shack just pictures of Doug Farm all over it?
I'll be honest. I there's legalities. I'm not allowed to really speak about it anymore.
Oh, has that finally come in? Oh, was that a bit unclear on that?
There's things going on. I'm in trouble, basically.
Mike, what was your? I didn't see him come on. Obviously, he came on just after they scored, and then first thing I saw of him was taking a throw in. I thought, because
when they scored,
what were you thinking?
When they scored, I was like, you need to get Doug on. You need to get Doug on. Get it in the mixer, and then he's there. I'm like, it's all right now. We're fine.
I reckon he came on from that side of the ground. I think he was in the crowd.
Yeah.
And he just came. I was the same. I was the same. I've been watching on the telly, and I mean, whether I had my head in my hands, like you say, like I said earlier, when they scored, but I just was like, when did Tharm come on?
They didn't even put the graphic. They didn't even put the graphic up, did they? There was nothing.
We had to work out who'd gone off. When
we got 12.
He was making his way from the top of the stand. Excuse me, out of the way. I've got to sort this out.
Well, all 4 rows.
Yeah, out of the way. I'm here, right?
He just took one big step, Bruce. Went over all of them.
Can I sort of go on about this? Sounds like a proper bad loser syndrome. This, but why are clubs like Salford in the bloody league? Like, what is the point of them?
Money. That's why.
Money and vanity.
You could hardly see when they celebrate on. I know the telly's a false thing, but you could barely see anything. The commentators made more noise. It's just, I just like they just take. There's There's Southend. There's any number of clubs. There's a couple of other clubs in the non-league who should be in the league, and everyone's got a divine right to be in there. But the idea of Salford being a division above us, Bromley being a division above us, Cheltenham being a division above us before, it just kind of messes with my view of the natural order of things, and they've got a wanker manager to go with it.
I don't mind Bromley because, and you know, Mike lives down that way, not far from there, and you're down that way. But as far as I'm aware, they're not completely massively bankrolled.
No, they're not.
They've done it,
but not on a level of.
They've done it
on a level of a lot of clubs, yeah.
So they've done it. They've done it naturally. Yeah. Whereas the clubs I don't like, Sam, clubs like Forest Green.
Yeah.
You know,
Keynes.
Crawley were initially bankrolled by lottery winners, weren't they? Or something like that.
Fleetwood were
Fleetwood
winners.
Yeah. Crawley had some money from somewhere injected into them, and it is. Yeah, it is. We are sore losers, aren't we? I agree.
I am a bad loser. I'm more than willing to admit that.
Well, there is a bone of contention here because there was at the pub 3 people came in and they was asking at the door. They said, "Oh, is it good in here? Are they playing music?" So a couple of us explained that there was a football game on Grimsby Town versus Salford, and it was getting quite entertaining. Turns out they're from Salford, had no idea Salford were playing, and no idea what was going on. So they went and sat down the other end. I swear to God, when Salford scored, right, they're recording themselves screaming and dancing on tables. Right, they have no idea that Salford were even playing.
That sums it up, doesn't it? That's the kind of. I
said to Mark, if we I'd love it if we score here because I'm going down there and I'm getting on a table and it will collapse, but it'll be a beautiful collapse.
Going the full Pearlhurst.
Yeah, I'd be fucking up the touchline like Mourinho.
Did you see the videos that were at last week of their hardcore ultras that were bouncing about near the away turnstile?
Which one?
And there was a police line between them and the town fans that were walking around to the main stand, and there was about 30 young kids and a couple of old blokes. And where were they when we played, when they had 60 odd at home in the league? They weren't there because the fans that came, it was a £5 for the bus apparently. They couldn't sell out. It was a £5 for the bus, and they're just fucking tin pot. There's no 2 ways about it. And it's just right. Anyway, let me make me move on, please.
We're now on, and we're not even on the players yet.
But we needed the time tonight, though, Mike, didn't we? We needed the time to vent. So and good venting it is too. And I hope everyone at home feels a little bit comfort. We just had that message there from Don. Because of our positivity, he's made his mind up and he's going to buy his season tickets. So we've done that, gents. We have done that. So there we go. Well, the club can take credit, but we will take credit for the positivity.
I didn't see Sam winning a header against Man United.
Well, that's true. That's true. But in a stand, he was. He was there.
But
so playing snooker.
He bought me a pint this season, though.
Yeah, he did. And maybe that was a game changer. You know.
I know you told us. I wrote the date down.
I'd want you waiting for you on the bar when you arrived at the pub in Cheltenham, Bruce. Another memorable moment this season.
It was in the wrong pub. We were going to another pub.
I then disgraced myself by immediately the moment anti-lunch turned up, disappeared down the Istanbul for a Turkish restaurant. But anyway,
what with Bruce?
Yeah.
A leopard doesn't change its spots.
She was physically feeding fenners.
So are you Youngie, because you're the boss. Are you doing a segue now?
Yes, I'm segueing.
Right, okay. Are you ready for a segue?
Oh yeah, I'm ready. Oh, that's lovely. So
I don't know either.
Dave
I just
Artell
think that's the opposite of a segue, Mike. A segue is where you sort of seamlessly.
Was that seamless enough for you, John? Seamless
Still not
enough.
a segue.
No,
That's still not a segue. Sorry.
It wasn't a segue, but it's fine. It's fine.
Isn't that one of them things you ride round on?
That is
also a segue. Yeah, it's also a segue. So it's, yeah,
That's a bike.
Well, there's that as well. I had, you know what? I had control of this until about 5 minutes ago, and it's gone. Right. Anyway, tomorrow. So Dave Artell said in his post-match that tomorrow the players will find out their futures. I'm guessing a few of them players might know their futures already, but we haven't got that many out of contract. According to the fishy list, we have got 6 players that are out of contract and 4 players on loan to go out, or that will obviously be going back to their clubs for the time being. So the 6 players out of contract are Tyrell Warren, Evan Corey, George McEachran, Jude Soonsup-Bell. Well, Jude Soonsup-Bell has an option that we know about. Jason Daddy Svan Thornton and Seb Orton. And the lone players are Jackson Smith, Andy Cook, Clark Adore, and the lesser spotted Tyler Sellers Fleming. So basically, firstly, out of contract players, do we think any of them get offered new deals? Mike, to start.
I think some of them will, and I think they'll turn them down. I think Corey and McEachran will leave. I think they'll be the only 2 offered anything new. I think Soonsup-Bell will probably get his extension triggered because I think he's the sort of the player we're looking for the future with a bit of potential. He's done all right in bits and pieces, but I think he's worth another year to have a look at. Svan Thorson, we don't know because it depends what his injury is. We've heard all sorts of things. Only the people with the knowledge will be able to make that decision. But I would be surprised if he hasn't got an option, considering how much money we spent relocating him. We paid a fee as well, so we've invested quite a bit there. If his injury is quite bad, as some people say, nobody knows. I wouldn't be surprised if we offered him something to help him back on his feet, like we did Scannell. So yeah, that's who I think will go. All Adore, Cook, and Smith, three of the 4 lone players. I'll be trying to get straight back in. I don't think you need to look for a replacement for them. I think you get them straight back in.
I think you can. I think you. So you definitely want to try and keep Jacko as much as I think there's about as much chance of. I'm
not too sure, Sam. I think we've got a good chance, mate.
I think if we really want, I wanted to raise this point actually because I think it's really worth having because I'm interested in people's opinions on it. I'm sure we could keep Cookie for another year if we wanted to. He's made his bed in terms of he's going to leave Bradford and he's back in League Two, and I'm sure we could keep him if we wanted to. Is there a risk with him, though? This is something I've been thinking about for a couple of days now, that he gets Danny Rose syndrome. There's no sign of any decline at the back end of this season. He's been brilliant at the back end of this season. The same way Rose was fantastic in the last third.
If he goes all Salah on us.
If he just at the start, and we'll have to pay him big money because he's a centre forward with a big pedigree. Is there a risk that he's 1 year too old next year? We don't.
I must admit, Sam, that I've been kind of thinking the same. I think it'd be one of them things where, if it's good terms for us, as in it's a good deal for us, where it's not blowing the budget, and you get him in for an extra year or something like that, absolutely. But would I be blowing the budget on Andy Cook? I'm not so sure. John, you had your hand up first.
Yeah, I just on the other side of that, I think the problem we have with Danny Rose is that we relied on him so heavily at the end of last season. We needed him. He was our only option. I think I would be very happy for us to sign Andy Cook only on the basis of us signing another striker. Assuming that KB is going to have some suitors, I think we need to find someone who's going to be a star. I don't think Gardner's able to start yet. I think he's a fantastic prospect. I still think he's got a lot to learn. We didn't see Soonsup-Bell play a minute of the playoffs when we needed goals. I think that says probably everything you need to know about what the club think about him, and I'm not sure that we will see him again. He's only played a year. We know that Artell can coach players, but that seemed to say a lot. I think Cook brings a lot more than just pedigree on the pitch, which he's shown us in buckets. He shouldn't be signed as a starting number 9. What he brings to the dressing room, what he brings with experience, what he brings to the team, and what he can bring in 20 minutes, 30 minutes here and there, I think is valuable. So I think I'd be really happy to sign him, but I don't think we need to. I don't think we should see him as our starting position, which is what we had with Rose. Rose was our starting striker, and we saw the decline that he had. Andy Cook should not be seen as a starting player for Grimsby Town next season, but I'd like to see him in the squad.
So what you're saying, John, is that basically he's a great star of many, many years in the past. We shouldn't view this guy as like the shining beacon going forward and be leading us into the future. But it'd be worth keeping him about for other people to learn off him. Just got me thinking about another sportsman I hold a very firm opinion on. That's all.
Yeah, the problem with that,
I know where you're going, Sam.
The problem with that with Cookie is he could name his price at any National League team and probably quite a few League Two teams because of his history.
But then
he's at the end of his career. So I think you're either committing to him as the number 9, or you're saying thanks for your efforts and we'll see you we'll see you again whenever. I don't think there's that option.
Say Tranmere's taker goes through and they want he played for them before, and they want a big headline signing and they just chuck $3,000 a week at him. I could see that.
Yeah.
I think it's fine. It's up to him then. I think we're in a really luxurious position where, we know we've got analytics, we know we've got data research, and I think we're not reliant on that one player. So good luck to him if that's what he wants to do. He knows what we're going to achieve next season. He knows he knows the team, he knows the squad, he knows the manager, he knows the area. He knows, he can commute, from his home to us. He knows what he's got. He's obviously got a few mates there in Green and Walker. If he really feels that he wants to be a starting striker in the National League, I'm not convinced he is, but fine, fair enough. I just quickly on the rest of it, I think, goalkeeper's clearly a priority, very obviously, and Jacko would be, an obvious and luxurious sort of signing. I can't see a luxury signing. I can't see it happening like Sam. I hope you're right, Mike. And look, I think we all would, we're all romantics, right? We all want to see, Sven Thorsen back in a Town shirt doing his thing. Who knows? It's just unknown, isn't it? But in an ideal world, I'd love him to be back in a Town shirt. I really would. Curry, I'd like to see signed. I'm not sure where Curry goes if he doesn't stay with Town. I think again, he knows the team. He's a starter. He's playing for a team that's pushing for promotion. I'm not sure why and where he'd go, but if he wants to move back down south, fine. But I think I've got full confidence, like I said at the beginning, that whatever happens in terms of the personnel, we're in a good position. I think the next question we should ask, but I know there's a bit more chat. Bruce wants to chat, but just really quickly, and the chat we can get to in a second. And there's been some chat is whether Artell stays or gets sniffed out. Well, that's what people are saying. I don't think he'll go, but
they're panicking, mate.
No, I've seen some comments.
I don't think Artell's going anywhere, and I'm not going to say more on that. But just what we've got to consider, and you've talked quite at length about the players, so I won't be too long. We're moving at the end of this season into Artell Mark 5. We had Mark 1 where we came in and tried to play out from the back. We tried to play football. We went back to basics, and at the start of this season, we were prime Real Madrid. It all went tits up. We brought in Andy Cook. We brought in Jacko, and we've not played the same football that we played at the start of the season since. And I think the Cook thing and how much we spend on him would depend on what we want next season. I think the best performance I saw from a forward playing in the Artell way was Cam Gardner against Man United, which when he played down the middle and he tore them to shreds. And Soon Suk Belly's in that mould of player, that young, tall, athletic player. So it all depends for me which way we're going to go with that. I think McCracken's gone. I think Corey will go. I would like to see Sven Thorsen offered. I think Warren will go. I'm not sure about Seb Alton. That just depends what the club think of him. We haven't seen enough.
I think they'll
But,
keep Alton because he'll be a cheap option.
Yeah,
I think,
and you can get loaning if you struggle, can't you?
Yeah, exactly. That's why I think they'll keep him. I was about to say to everybody what about contracts. Is any of the contracted players that perhaps may be looking at moving on? And I think they will try and move on Christy Pym, and I think maybe perhaps Sam Lavelle.
Yeah, they're the
perhaps
two I had.
Yeah, they're the two. Sam, you've got your hand up there.
Yeah, I was going to say Pym. And from what I'm under, I know these things are, you don't really know them, and you hear lots of stories about this sort of thing. But from sort of Whiskey Bird coming out, I'm not. I think getting Pym out the building would do wonders to the wage budget from a number of things. But that could be complete rubbish before anybody comes and has a go at me about it. But so when you say move Lavelle on, do you thought because Dougie's got another 2 years, hasn't he? Dougie's got another 2 years. You've got Janet.
That's a factor. I was thinking he's got 2 years. He's barely played Lavelle, has he? And do you see him getting in the side? I'm not sure.
And we've got Gilson, and don't forget we've got Gilson, who's played very little.
I had forgotten him, John. I'll be honest.
Look, I mean, just for the defect with Gilson again, I think he falls into the sort of where I don't think he'll be costing us a lot. I think he's got a high ceiling. I think it's worth a look. It's all about how much money that costs you. In terms of Lavelle, I think he's got a decent pedigree in lower league football. I think he's got some experience, and if he can stay fit, I don't think there's an issue with him. What I think looking at this team is it probably needs a couple of wingers. Probably after the next couple of weeks, probably needs a couple of wingers. And I think we're going to have a little bit of a rebuild in midfield, which I don't think we'd have thought before. You could have just Tory and Walker here by this time next week as your midfield. And Green.
I thought that earlier as well.
So you're looking for maybe 3 midfielders. And midfield is quite important to how Artell wants to play. So maybe he's thinking we can't do what I tried to do, as Bruce said, and I need to maybe bring in a little bit more technicality in there because I love Evan Corin. I think he gives us so much that we don't have. He gives us pace, he gives us energy, he gets up and down, he disrupts. And you look around the team and we don't really have that anywhere else. But maybe just wants a bit more technicality in there as well, to be able to play that type of football.
And on the mention about Green, you say we've got Green. We've tested you can't play Green and Walker theory nearly to destruction. I think now that so
you can't. It's the game.
So the point is there. You're going to be after signing. Yeah, there's still a rebuild now means you've got 3 players who've played a lot this season, and you're probably signing 2 who could compete with them. That tells you how much you've moved forward as a football club, doesn't it?
I think we're also at the risk of thinking just starting 11 here. And I think when you think about players like Lavelle and Warren, we need a squad, and signing new players to come in and sit behind McJanet and Maldini and Farms there, for example. I know Warren's out of contract and I've heard he's probably off, but I don't think Lavelle's a terrible option to have on the bench. I don't think Warren is a terrible option to have, because he's versatile as well. So we've got to think about this as a whole squad. We can't just ship out players because they haven't quite hit the standards that we were expecting this season, and bring in players who are going to, because they're not going to be happy to sit on the bench like some of our players are. We're League Two. We're not able to afford the sort of wages that other teams are. So we've got to think about some of those players that are probably, going to be squad players, come on for some of the, Papa John's Trophy games and, start a few games here and there, but not the automatic starters.
I think Warren's got to go for himself, though. You're looking at his age and what's he doing with his career. Now, I like the fella. I think he's shown he's huge amount of effort and application playing as a centre back earlier in the season, and I've no question about his output and his effort. But if he's going to be the second choice right back and the 4th choice centre back, I just feel the bloke's got to go out and kickstart his career, and maybe we bring somebody in younger that can maybe progress and take over from Rodgers in 2-3 years' time. I don't see that being Warren.
All right. So we've had the warning from Bruce that he's on low battery, and he has the final game of the season of our favourite game. Mike, roll VT.
Hang on, I haven't got a VT for that.
Segway.
I have. Hang on, just talk amongst yourselves.
You should have it. It's the classic
Yeah,
one.
right.
And if you're listening after Monday, we apologise for the last 10 minutes because it'll probably all be irrelevant.
Yeah, if you can, please listen in the morning. That'd be great. So, da-da.
Yeah, I genuinely haven't got it.
You haven't got the play your cards right.
Genuinely.
No, he's got it. No, it's how old are you?
How old are you? Is what I'm looking
How
for.
old are you? Sorry, how old are you?
Oh, I have.
How old are you? How old are you? How old are you? How old are you?
Because it makes perfect sense to something WhatsApp video, doesn't it, in the media thing, just so you know what that means.
Right, I'm going to rattle through this because we're an hour and 10 minutes, and you know my feelings on timekeeping on the pod. Right, I'm going to take you to some places in the next few minutes that you don't like, and I'm going to bring you back with some places that you will like. This is your play your cards, right? You've got me going with you now. This is your how old are you playoff special. We might be out of the playoffs, but you four are not for the next 10 minutes. Right, you run in order. Yeah, I'm going to work on the intro in the summer, Taylor. Right, Sam, Youngie, Mike, John, there are 8 questions. You will all rotate through, so you all get to go first, twice. I'm going to take you back to 4th of May 2014. First up, Sam. Scott Nielsen saw red in a playoff, controversially saw red, very controversially, in a playoff for 4-2 aggregate defeat at Gateshead. How old, Sam, was Scott Nielsen at that game?
26.
26, says you. Youngie?
25.
25. Mike, get off your phone. How old?
23.
23. And John?
Well, everyone said all the other numbers.
You can pick somebody else's, mate. It's absolutely fine.
Can you?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, okay.
Not deal. Start again.
No, get on with it, quick.
25.
25. Right, Scott Nielsen was 26.
Yes!
He was born on the 15th of May 1987. Sam, that makes it nice and easy for me to work out. You are on 0. Youngie and John, you were 1 year out. That puts you on to 1. And Mike, you were 3 years out, putting you on to 3.
Thank you so much.
Youngie, 28th of April 2013, we travelled to Newport. This is another uninspiring playoff campaign.
Went out to win that day, didn't we?
A 1-0 defeat at Newport. Saw a 2-0 aggregate defeat for Paul Hurst's Mariners. Future Mariner Christian Jolly scored the only goal of the game that day. How old was Christian Jolly in 2013 at that match?
That's a tough one, that one. I'm going to say, I don't think he was that old, so I'm going to go for 24.
Mike?
25.
John?
23.
Sam?
I think he was 22. Is my guess anyway.
22. Okay, this is going very simple. I'm going to cut the maths up in a minute because he's going too well. Right. Okay, Youngie, you went first on that round. Christian Jolly was indeed 24. So that's a straight hit on the head for you. Leaves you on 1. He was born on the 12th of May 1988. Mike, you were 1 out, putting you on to 4. John, you said 23, which is 1 out, putting you on to 2. And Sam, you were 2 out, putting you on to 2. So Youngie takes the lead. Mike.
Yes, mate.
This is very raw. And I do apologise with a bit of a smile through gritted teeth. On the 15th of May 2026, Callum Ceesay scored a 117th minute winner to break Grimsby Town Hearts in the playoffs for Tim Pot Salford. How old was Callum Ceesay 2 days ago?
I have no idea. I'm going to say 20.
Well, look at the picture of his face, mate. Did he look like
He's young.
me, or did he look like John?
You banned Google.
22.
I said picture of his face, not Google his face, Sam. Right, 22, Mike. John.
I know what he looks like, Sam. He scored, for fuck's sake.
I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
I'm sure they mentioned it was his birthday the day before or something, or on the day, but I can't remember what they said his age was.
Oh, bro. Nice.
24.
24. Sam.
20.
And Youngie.
No. 19.
Okay, we've got a bit of movement in the table here. Mike, you went first, didn't you? You did well, considering I've given you a player from another club, but I like to sling them sort of things in. He was born on the 4th of September 2002. He is 23 years old. Someone born in 2002, he's now 23. You were 1 year out, Mike, puts you on to 5, but I think after this you'll still be in the mix. John, you were consistent, 1 out again with 24, puts you on to 3. Sam, you were 3 out, putting you on to... You've now slipped to last place. Oh, no, hang on a minute, though.
I've got like 10 in the playoffs. Had a great start, and it's got big gone.
And you were 4 out, moving you on to 5. So John takes a 2-year lead. The rest of you were all on 5. Okay, moving swiftly on. John first. Oh, dear, this makes me sad, but it's the last sad one. 17th of May 2015. Bristol Rovers goalkeeper Will Puddy came rushing out of his area with Grimsby Town 1-0 up in the playoffs. Lionel John Lewis had scored. We ended up losing on penalties. How old was Will Puddy, John, in 2015?
We're supposed to be making people feel good here, Bruce. People are booking.
It's going to get better. It'll get better. I'm going to start talking about Rob Scott in a minute.
Season tickets are getting cancelled as you speak. How about 29?
29. Good age for a keeper, that. I like that. Sam?
25.
25 says you. Youngie?
28.
28 says Richard. And Michael?
27.
27.
Sort of in the middle there, isn't it?
Right. Will Puddy, cheating bastard, was born on the 4th of October 1987. He was 27 years old in May 2015. John, you were 2 out, putting you on to 5. Sam, you were 2 out, putting you on to 7. Youngie, you were 1 out, putting you on to 6. And Mike was bang on 5. Mike is now joint leader with John. Moving swiftly on the 15th of May 2016, the Ginger Perlo Craig Disley skippers Grimsby Town to promotion back to the EFL after 6 long, painful years of non-league suffering. How old, Sam, was Craig Disley in May 2016?
I'm going to say 33.
33. Ricardo?
I'm also going to say 33.
You may say 33. That's no problem. Michael?
32.
32. And John?
I was going to say 32.
That's fine. 32. Is that a better question for everybody? Everybody happy with that one?
Yeah, better than Will Puddy.
Right, well, you're all wrong.
What?
So,
34?
He was 34, Sam, yes. He was 34. Sam, you went first. You said 33, so you're 1 out, moving you on to 8. Youngie, you also said 1 out, so you're moving on to 7. And you two were 2 out. This is close. 7 and 7. We've got a 3-way tie for the lead with Sam in last place.
Just one behind, though.
Youngie, I hope my phone doesn't die. This is going to go completely... Right. Nathan Arnold. Nathan Arnold has it in tears, didn't he? We celebrated it yesterday, I think. Yeah, 2 days ago. How old was Nathan Arnold in 2016, Sam? Youngie, sorry. Youngie. Yeah, Youngie.
27.
27. We're going to have to... Yeah, okay. Mike?
28.
28. Oh, he's a bit old. I think he's a bit older than you. Right, John?
27.
27. Sam?
We're going to was playing against us 10 years before while playing for Mansfield. Yeah. I'm going to go with 29.
Yeah, it's been around.
29. Youngie went first that time. He was 28. He was born on 26th of July 1987. So Youngie went first. He was 1 out, goes on to 8. Mike was on the nail again, 7. John was 1 out, moving on to 8. Sam was 1 out the other way, going on to 9. Still all to play for. 2 to go. 28th of May 2022. Where were we? Anybody tell me? 28th of May 2022.
Wrexham.
You were at a
Wrexham,
wedding.
Sam. We were at Wrexham, and what a day we had. Luke Waterfall scored twice and told one of their players to F off brilliantly as we beat Moneybags Wrexham 5-4. How old was Luke Waterfall, Mike, in May 2022?
32.
Sean?
33.
Sam?
31.
Youngie?
I'm also going to say 32.
32. Who went first that time? That was
Mike.
Mike, wasn't it? Mike went first. Mike said 32. He was actually 31. Mike gains 1 and moves on to 8. John said 33, gains 2 and moves on to 10. Sam said 31, nail on the head, still in the mix on 9. And Youngie said 32, also moving on to 9. There's 2 between all 4 of you.
This is the tightest ever game of this we've ever played.
This is getting a bit. You know,
I
I don't get nervous.
have got a tiebreaker. 24th of May 1998. Alan Buckley.
I've got no chance, have I?
Alan, you just think about it, Sam. Don't go off your rocker before I tell you what's going on. Alan Buckley led Grimsby Town back to the 2nd tier of English football with a Kevin Donovan goal at Wembley. How old was Alan Buckley in 1998, Sam? Think of your managers and how old they can be and are, and his history at town and
Sam,
everything else.
Is it Sam first or me?
No, sorry, it's John. It is you, John. Sorry.
He's desperate for me to go first.
I was just telling Sam to not be negative before we'd even answered.
No, sure. I'm putting myself in a more negative situation. Oh God, let me do the math. 57.
I feel harsh on asking you. Right, go on, Sam.
This was very much my era, Bruce.
Okay, we'll come back to your era in a minute.
I think that's quite the guess, John.
I'm going to go with.
Well, he just celebrated his 95th birthday.
Was he? Oh, shit.
I'm going to go with 50.
50, said Sam. Youngie.
I'm trying to do some maths here because I know there was a big birthday, but I'm not sure what the big birthday was.
Well, this is like John's clue earlier.
So my guess is 47.
Yeah.
Mike?
There was the thing. There was the thing, wasn't there, recently? I wouldn't have a clue, but I'm going to go 46 because it's that ballpark, isn't it?
46.
He's 75.
Right. In other news, Mrs. Buckley is in the car on the A1 as we speak on her way down to see John. Alan Buckley was 47 in 1998.
I've got my maths all wrong.
John, you've just doubled your score. You're on 20. You're in last place. Sam, good effort. After all your moaning, you were 3 out, moving you on to a respectable 12. Youngie absolutely nailed it to go into a playoff with Michael, who was 1 year out on 9.
I should have gone with you.
Right, I've got 10% battery, so we should be able to get through the playoff. Right. We're going to go to a game now in the playoffs that I didn't really see quite properly in person. We're talking about Solihull 1, Grimsby Town 2 on the 5th of June 2022.
Oh, you, Bruce?
I was you know where I was. I'm not even on
Mike,
screen.
you cannot give people grief for not going to particular games.
Right, Sam. I love you sticking up for me, but this is not the time or place. Right. I deserve everything. I deserve everything that Mike gives me, which is the same as Mike deserves when I tell him. Yeah. Right. I'm going to write down. Right. I'm going to write. Right, 1 second. Mike, pick a number 1 or 0. This is to see who goes. They can choose whether they go first or second.
1.
1. What does that say? Youngie, is Youngie 1?
That's the. I haven't got my glasses on.
Okay,
Yeah, Youngie's number 1. So Youngie, do you want to go first or second on Against the Crowd?
I'll go second.
Okay, Mike, what was the attendance at the London Stadium? You can deduct 1 for me not being there.
Oh my God. I've no idea.
I've had a 10% warning. Solihull brought 7. What did we take?
Oh, I haven't got the faintest idea, mate.
Well, it's a quiz, mate. You can actually just...
22 and a half.
22,500. Youngie, you're going higher or lower than 22,500?
I'm going to go slightly lower. I'm going to go 19,500.
I don't think that's
Congratulations to Michael McMahon, today's quiz winner. The actual attendance was 22,897. Well played, everybody.
Well done, mate. That's good. Fair play. I can't knock that.
I think we took about 18, I thought, didn't we? Something like that.
Yeah.
We didn't quite get that 20, and I thought they'd have brought 5 or 6.
Because they were mostly Birmingham fans, weren't they?
That went quite seamlessly for a quiz, didn't it?
Brilliant. Thank you.
Whatever the game is, Mike always wins. I
got absolutely battered the other week. Absolutely battered.
I'm referring you to the Privileges Committee. There's an investigation.
Oh, you know all about them.
We're sorry if you've overrun your lunch break if you're listening on Wednesday.
You're like the Celtic of the pod, Mike.
Sorry?
I think
you're like the Celtic of the pod.
Let's not bring that up because I'm still bitter about that as well. It's been a really shit sporting week,
isn't it?
Don't get me started.
Oh, bloody hell. Don't get us started. But, okay, so we're going to say goodbye now. For the pod for the summer, I believe that... Mike, you've got something to say. You've got your hand up there, sorry.
No, just Dan would like to know if there are any pod transfers or people out of contract being released this year.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah, see you later.
Absolutely. See you later. So... for the pod for the summer, then obviously we won't be doing the weekly Sunday episodes for the time being, but we will be popping up with little nuggets every now and again. Hopefully, we'll get some special guests over the summer. I'm not going to say any names, but obviously to the
Hannah and Alex.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Can't wait for them. But also as well, we're hoping to do some World Cup special episodes as well. So we will England theme the DN35 podcast for a little bit over the summer to give you a little fix of international flavour.
If you're from Scotland, we will do one episode for you.
I think we'll probably do one of, we did the Euros, didn't we? That sweepstake. And I think I've been chatting with you guys, but maybe we do it towards the disabled supporters. So like half and half.
That's a great idea. Yeah.
Winner, and then.
Yeah.
Apparently, everyone who didn't get a ticket for Salford has now contributed, and there is £750,000 in the fund. So we're not only are we building the disabled supporters stand, we are joining
we're building a new stadium
and the main stand.
Absolutely, this is incredible news. Obviously, that is fake news. Please continue to support the fund until it's full. But Bruce is just. We're going to play that again in 6 months when it does come true. So on behalf of Alex, I am here to thank our very, very loyal viewership and listenership over the last 12 months. It has been the best season for numbers for the podcast all year. And we've had some genuinely tremendous times over the last 12 months. So thank you, everybody that tunes in on a Sunday night or listens to us or anything like that. Thank you to all the people that have stopped us, especially in the last few months. It seems that everywhere we go, we get very nice plaudits and the occasional person telling us we're shit as well. But generally, we get a lot of nice people coming up to say hello to us and thanking us for the pod. So thank you to everybody who contributes to this. Thank you to our financial backers. Bruce would like to thank somebody by the looks of it.
No, I was just going to say, we will see you on the pre-season tour.
Yes, we will see you on the pre-season tour.
Got to get a bus.
And on behalf of everybody here, plus Hannah and plus Alex, cheers very much. And I suppose we best say thank you to Alex as well, because he does do all the thank you work on this podcast. Oh, fuck him, it's not here. But no, thank you to Alex for everything he does. So anything else to add before we say goodbye for the 25-26 season?
We did consult Alex about making this the last one, didn't we?
He's basically said it on here. He was just like,
okay.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what we're like? We'll be back next week. There's something happening. We'll just jump on for half an hour because that's all we did. We said, we'll have a few weeks off and then we'll be back on next week just talking.
But it won't be related to this season. That's what I'm saying. This is we're closing 25, 26. That's what we're doing. Yeah.
Yes.
Anything moving forward is 26, 27 now.
Thank you. The calendars have yet to make their way to the south.
Yeah.
I'd just like to say we fucking beat Man United.
We fucking did. Play the fucking credits.
Open wide for some soccer!
And now the shipping forecast issued by the Met Office on behalf of the Maritime and Coast Guard Agency at 1130. Go! At 1130.
I don't think I've ever wanted to be in a stand more than my life around here. They're going crazy.
This antiquated main stand, I can feel it vibrating.
Say, they got a penalty here with the fish flying about that. There's no tomorrow.
What a magnificent piece of football! This is Vernon! Vernon scored! The supporters are invading the pitch because Grimsby Town have caused one of the biggest upsets in their history.
Love it.